Greetings. Today's guest is a Selmer Paris radial trumpet, also known as the Radial 2 or the Radial 2 degree. This is due to the valve section. The first and third pistons are angled in at 2 degrees. Supposedly this was done to create a more ergonomic feeling valve section. Rumor has it that Maurice André, the great French trumpet artist and Selmer Paris artist for many decades, had a hand in the design. Selmer's own advertising states that he designed the lead pipe. We can see the angle of the pistons. I can also tell you that the tops of the pistons are actually much closer than on other Selmer, older Selmer trumpets that I own. The great famous Selmer piston action combined with this angled valve section makes for a very fast acting and comfortable valve section. It's a good design and one that I've never seen really on any other instrument. Pistons in Selmer manufacture were numbered. Trumpets were made in batches, supposedly made in batches of 33 instruments, and then the first instrument would be numbered piston 1, 2, 3, then the next one 4, 5, 6, and this one 7, 8, 9, serial numbers here. Hope you can see those valve stamps there. You can also find 7, 8, 9 on the top of the valve caps. Older Selmer instruments will also have these same numbers stamped on the bottom valve caps. Speaking of the valves, we're talking about an instrument that was made perhaps in 1969 or 1970. Sometime prior to that, Selmer changed from nickel-plated pistons to mono-plated pistons with some problems. You can see what would be construed as piston wear. It's actually just discoloration, staining. The compression on these valves is very good. Just one of the problems that they had in the first couple of years when they were using monoplating for the first time on their pistons. Just a very simple home test of valve compression. We would remove one of the slides, in this case the first slide, and we would cover the tube where the air would normally flow if the first valve were depressed and we were playing a note. I'm sure you probably can't even hear that. There's just a very slight hissing sound, which is pretty much normal for a horn that has very good compression. Even newer horns might have that same amount of hissing of air escaping into the valve casing. Selmer stopped manufacturing trumpets and flugelhorns in 2011 after many, many decades of making wonderful instruments. I really love many different models that they made over the years. It's a shame that they still don't manufacture trumpets. I wonder if they still have the same designs and tooling from all the different models that they made over the decades. One of the great things about their instruments is that many of the little aesthetic details, which I really like, were conserved throughout many different models. First of all, the finger hook is always the same. These distinctive braces. The S on the water key. Even the size of the water key, very small corks. I think I used clarinet corks of some type when I replaced those. Even the brand, the trademark. Many Selmer horns have elaborate engraving here. This one does not. Some people ask me when they find out I have a radial if it's a 66 or a 75 or a 99. What they're talking about is the fact that many of these radial trumpets have a number stamped here, 66, 75, or 99. This is not the original mouthpiece receiver. They do wear out. It was replaced when the instrument was restored and then silver plated. This is the original. It has no number on it. I suspect that the very early Radial 2 instruments manufactured did not have any kind of number. I have a theory about the numbers. I believe it has to do with the bore of the instruments. Would you like to hear it? Sure you would.
This is how it goes.
66 could mean 11.66 millimeters or 459 thousandths of an inch, medium large bore. 75 could be 11.75 millimeters or 462 thousandths of an inch, large bore. 99 could be 11.99 millimeters or 472 thousandths of an inch, extra large bore. The bore on the second valve slide clearly measures 11.75 millimeters. That's 462 thousandths of an inch, large bore. So if this instrument were stamped, it would be a model 75. Just take a look at the bell here by eye. Not that we could really tell a whole lot by looking at a bell. Yeah, playing is probably a better idea. If we were to compare this to a known quantity like the box 37 bell, I would say that this bell is a bit more chunky in this area. It has a taper that's maybe more similar to perhaps a 43 or even a 72 bell. What does it sound like? You heard a brief sample of this instrument in the intro music. Let's head down to the studio and give it a toot.